Welcome to Podcast Answers, the show where I help you start and grow your podcast, answering any podcasting questions along the way. Wow, today we have an exciting episode. We are going to be talking today a little bit about mic technique that's essential when it comes to your show, when it's essential when it comes to what you're doing, so people actually want to listen to your show. You've heard shows, you've heard people that don't have great mic technique, and I'm here to help you have that great mic technique. We're going to be talking about that, and we're also going to be talking a little bit about Streamdeck's new beta virtual software. So let's actually kick it off with that one. So Streamdeck announced, or Elgato announced the other day, that they are coming out with a beta version of the software. So beta just means people testing it out. May not be 100% great, but we're going to try it out. So they came out with this software that allows you to have a virtual Stream Deck. And now we've had one of those before. We've had virtual Stream Decks on the iPhone and the iPad, things like that. We've had virtual Stream Decks before, meaning you can have your iPad, your iPhone standing up, and it has, the virtual keys on it, and it works. I've done a chat on this channel before, and it works great. It's nice. It's a little bit different than the physical Stream Deck. If you've never used a Stream Deck, it's a keypad thing, and it allows you to push buttons and do things. It's how I'm switching scenes in this. I have these buttons on the side. I don't know if I can hold it up to my camera. There it is. It's this thing here is the Stream Deck, has physical buttons, and it allows you to do things on your computer, do things on your stream, do things as you're recording. And they came out with this new virtual Stream Deck. And so what I've been doing is I've been playing around with it a little bit. And so Randy says here, the virtual Stream Deck looks interesting, but what is the real purpose? I had the MK2 and the XL and can do whatever I need with multiple pages. I don't see the need for a virtual one. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. That was one of the things that I had at first, and one of the things that I was kind of thinking, okay, do I need one too? Do I need one? And I found some good things for it that I would need. So essentially here is the rundown. Here it is. Let me go ahead and switch over to my screen share. So if you're watching live with us, you can see on the screen share. So essentially what it does is it allows you to come up with a create a virtual Stream Deck, right? So I went ahead and you go into your drop down where you see all of your Stream Decks. Yes, don't judge. I have quite a bit of them. And you say add virtual device. And once you do that, you can configure it. You can say, okay, I'm going to take it, and I want it to be 4 rows or 8 rows or whatever, 8 columns, whatever. And you can hide empty keys and things like that. And so let me just show you here. I've set up a couple buttons. So what I've done is this is it. So when I'm hiding the buttons, I'm only seeing what I'm showing. So again, as you can see here, I've got these kind of configured in a row of 2, a blank one, and a number of 2s. It kind of creates this little Z thing. I'm not necessarily sold on hiding those. It's okay, but if you don't do it, then you see all of the whole Stream Deck. And so what's nice about it is, again, to answer your question, Randy, I can find some things like this where I don't necessarily want to have end meeting, end recording, things like that on my physical Stream Deck that I actually accidentally push. But I can go to it by just hitting a button, and then it shows up on my screen. So one of the settings in here is dynamic, which I like for display. So fixed essentially just says, okay, wherever you drag it, it's going to show up there. And if you hide it, it's going to show back up there. Dynamic, what it does is it shows up wherever your mouse is at. So if my mouse is over here and I click it, it shows up here. If it's over here, click it and hit here. So it's easy, quick way. I like that because it's easy to get to no matter where you're at on your screen. And then You can also, the cool thing about it is, let me switch over to my Stream Deck here. You can set an action. They have a new action in here, and it is called the VSD toggle. And so essentially what it does is it's the virtual Stream Deck, and you can tell it which device if you have multiple virtual Stream Decks. But what I like about it too is you can also then do different profiles. So you can open up different profiles on it depending which Stream Deck button you push. So I only have one, and I have the default key. And so it's going to pop that up right now. But so when I press this key on my Stream Deck, that virtual one pops up. And it works just the same as a physical one. I can click on the buttons and it will do things. I don't want to click on those buttons right now because I'm actually streaming and I'm actually live. But that's where it comes in. And what I like about it is I like the fact that you can have this virtual one and put some non-use keys on it. Randy, I agree with you that I have a couple Stream Decks, and so I find that I have a lot of buttons, and I like the physical buttons because I don't have to look down on them. I can just push it. But what I find is that the virtual one is nice for those. It's nice for those things where you don't want things always showing, you don't want to accidentally hit them, but you just need a few more keys. I can think of something that would be good for this too. Like if you had, let's say, an app or something playing sound effects, it would be really easy to, get your sound effects wherever you had them and push them from there. So it's not the same as having, it is not the same as having a physical Stream Deck. I do like the Stream Deck because I like the fact that you can have your hand on that physical tactile buttons. You can physically push those buttons, and it's easy to know where you're at without actually looking down at the buttons. But the virtual Stream Deck is nice because it allows you to have some extra buttons that you don't necessarily want to have on your stream every day. So that's the virtual Stream Deck. I like it. It's something that I'm playing around with now. Again, I've had the virtual one for the iPhone and the iPad, and it's nice for some things. It's nice that if I'm taking, I went to a conference one time and I was doing some video, but I didn't want to take my physical Stream Deck. So I took the virtual one, and it works. I can push the buttons I need to have, and it's nice, but it is not the same as having a physical Stream Deck. Hear me that. Now, the other thing that you have to take into consideration is the virtual Stream Deck is locked. The new virtual Stream Deck for your computer is locked based on the fact that if you have a physical Stream Deck. So you have to have a physical Stream Deck in order to unlock those keys. Otherwise, you won't have that extra physical Stream Deck, or the extra virtual Stream Deck with you, because you have to physically have one of the physical ones plugged in order for Elgato to unlock that and allow you to use those virtual ones. So again, it's in my back pocket. It's a tool that I have. Am I going to use it a lot? I don't know, but I'm not having to pay for it extra because I already have one of the physical Stream Decks, so it's unlocked that. So that's the nice thing about it, because it allows me to be able to go on the run and still use it, have some extra keys, and I've got the 6-key one I can bring with me if I just need to unlock it. And that's another thing that comes into handy. Let's say I have a 15-key or a 6-key one of the smaller Stream Decks. You can now have a physical or a virtual one of up to 32 keys. And so you can do more than that, because you can do 8x8. And so you can use it since it's, if you want to have it with you, have something on the run where one of the smaller ones fit in your backpack, but you need some extra keys. It's not the same. It's not the physical one, but it works. So that's that. If you want to check it out, go to Elgato, just Google Stream Deck Virtual, and you'll come up with the beta. It's a free beta. You just have to load the Stream Deck software, and it works great. Now, we're talking a little bit today about microphone technique. And you want to have a good sounding podcast. And so here are a few things that you need to consider when you are doing mic technique and recording your podcast. Be consistent. Aim for a consistent distance of 6 to 12 inches from your mouth to the microphone. So for me, mine's about 5 or 6 inches from my mouth. And I do also position that like at a 45-degree angle, slightly off center. I'm not just talking right into it, because then when I do that, I talk and you're going to have what's called plosives. You're going to pick up those unwanted P's and things like that. So if if you angle it slightly backwards, slightly to a 45-degree angle, the wind is gonna go straight, and it's gonna go past the microphone instead of into the microphone, causing those unwanted sounds that you don't want, because you don't want those popping P's, those plosives, loud sounds. So keep it consistent. Part of keeping it consistent is being able to not hold your microphone. I did this for one of my episodes. I had my pod mic USB that I was holding in my hand, and I was so afraid that I was going to pick up handling noise. Now it did a pretty good job on it. I did not have any issues on that episode, and it came out sounding okay. But if you can have a mic stand, then it's going to be great. I'm using a spring armed thing here, and that allows you to keep it consistent. So I'm sitting in a chair. I have it on a arm, and I'm basically just talking straight here. And it doesn't. I stay within my distance of that 6 to 12 inches. Now, Randy actually did bring up a good point here. He said he goes with a 3 to 4 finger rule at the mic lined up at about 10 o'clock. That's a great suggestion. 3 to 4 fingers. I've got, actually mine's 4 right now. So there we go. Four fingers away from my mouth. And that's a good distance away from my mouth. I would stay away from holding onto your mic, because you're going to hear the handling sounds of your mic. Same thing as far as your table. You don't want to tap on your table. You don't want to put things down loud. I do have a noise gate on my Rodecaster set up right now, so if I'm quiet, you don't hear my room noise. The noise gate shuts that off. However, if I start tapping on my table, it's going to be loud enough. Even with my mic boom arm, I'm going to be able to hear that, because it's going to be picking up that noise. So avoid tapping either the mic or the table, or putting things down loud. Like if you have a water bottle that you're drinking out of, put it down. Don't slam it down, put it somewhere else, so you don't cause those unwanted sounds that are going to be in your podcast. You don't want that. It's really annoying, especially because podcasts, most of the time people are listening with their earbuds in, and they don't want to hear things slamming down. Or the other thing is that you need to control is your breathing. Take deep, controlled breaths before, during, after recording or speaking, because this allows you to not take shallow breaths. You want to breathe through your mouth, not your nose, because sometimes your nose creates the whistling sound and things that you don't want in your podcast, because you don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear that in their earbuds, or in their ears, in their car. They don't want to hear the sides of your mouth making a dry sound. So drink lots of water. That's another good thing to be able to have good sound, is not having a dry mouth, but breathing through your mouth. But have lots of water. Be hydrated. That way you don't make those weird sounds that you don't want to hear, that it bothers when you hear it. Some other tips: use a pop filter to minimize the plosives. I'm using one that comes with my Shure SM7B. It allows me to keep those plosives away. It's a nice thick foam that you're not going to hear any wind noise. You can also, again, use a microphone stand for your thing. That way you can keep a consistent height, consistency away from you. And then also be aware of your sound level. Be aware of the proximity effect, and adjust your mic distance for different volume levels. So if I get really close to my microphone, it's going to be big and boomy. If I'm farther back, it's going to be a little bit less boomy, but it's going to be more consistent. So try to speak consistently in your levels. You can also have a noise gate, or not a noise gate, but a compression. That way it kind of keeps your noise levels consistent. Again, that's not microphone technique, but it's just something that you may want to take into consideration when you're using your mic. Now, again, Randy, you're beating me to all of my things. Randy did say treated space is the key. And in my notes, I have room acoustics. Consider the acoustics of the room to minimize unwanted reflections. And that is definitely key. Your room acoustics are key. Hard walls are going to create a bouncing sound, especially if you're a louder person like I am. If you have a hard walls, they're gonna create all these sound reflections, and you don't want that. If you listen to a podcast, you can sometimes tell what kind of room they're in because you can hear the noise, you can hear the echo, you can hear things come back. And so that's again why proper mic technique is key, because if you have your mic gain too loud on your input, your mixer or whatever, if you have the gain set too loud, you're going to pick up a lot more of that room noise, and it's just going to sound a little bit more echoey. So if you can gain that down a little bit and make it so it's not picking up quite so much, you can get closer to your mic, and you hear less of my room noise now because I'm closer to the mic. I don't have to speak as loud. Now, yeah, so treat your room. You can buy a pack of small foam sound treatment panels and stick them to your wall. You can put rugs. If you're in a hardwood floor, that's going to bounce more of those reflections up and around. So just think about the room that you're in. Try to get soft things. Try to get things that are going to be not going to bounce your sound waves around, but it's going to absorb that. And so it's going to make the room a whole lot more dead. If you go into a room that has room treatment in it, you're going to notice the difference, because you're going to be able to feel like you're going to like almost feel the difference if you go into a room that's treated versus not. You talk into a treated room and it's dead. There's no sound reflections. You can't hear back. And for recording, that's a great thing. It's what you want. You don't want those things. So, do you have mic techniques? I would love to hear what your technique is for your mics, or if you've also, how do you get good sound treatment in your place? Let me know. I would love to hear what you're thinking, how you're working with your mic. If you're giving this podcast or this virtual Streamdeck a try, let me know. Contact me over at podcastanswers.com/contact. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you are doing. Also, if you would love to support this podcast, we would love to have your support. If you go to podcastanswers.com/buymeacoffee, you can support us for a small monthly fee, small one-off fee. It means a lot to us. Thanks, guys. Have a great week and keep podcasting.